I was recently sitting in the shower thinking of fond childhood memories, and as the falling water washed my tears away, I had a flashbulb memory of the classic N64 game, Micro Machines. I dusted off my ancient, completely real Nintendo 64, and stuck in my absolutely legitimate copy of Micro Machines. I was so ready to recreate the joyous feeling of having an imagination full of innocence and infinite wonder, but I was sorely let down. Some might say I'm used to disappointment, but the truth is, it still hurts. I should know by now, but nostalgia is a fickle bitch. The game played like shit, it looked like shit, and I hated it. The music was pretty cool though, and it did actually bring back a sliver of those feelings I was aching for. Of course, it was a different time, and I don't blame anyone involved with the game. I really loved this game growing up, and those fond memories aren't tainted by how I feel now. With that said, that doesn't change the disappointment of being blueballed by nostalgia, but life goes on. A few nights later, I was stumbling in the dark towards the toilet and nearly tripped on one of my son's Hot Wheel toys.
Fuck you, kid, you're a dick!
Okay, I don't have a son, they're mine. And I think my sketchy cat is trying to kill me. Regardless, that incident nearly cost me my life, but helped me realize where I went wrong with the Micro Machines. There are of course exceptions, but most older mid-tier games have just not aged well. And so I needed to bring my out-of-reach nostalgia to the modern era, and my answer to that was Hot Wheels Unleashed. I know what you're thinking, because I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, it's just another Mario Kart ripoff, but with Hot Wheels.
And you're exactly right. This is all the fun of Mario Kart, but with the Hot Wheels we loved and on the tracks we built hundreds of times. Sometimes at our local skate park, sometimes in our college dorm, and sometimes in our creepy uncle's abandoned neon-lit garage. It's always a risky move relying on nostalgia to be a game's main appeal. When working with familiar aesthetics that people have adored for years, expectations are nearly impossible to meet. It usually goes one of two ways. They remake a beloved, genre-defining game and absolutely nail it, like the Tony Hawk remasters or the impressive Resident Evil remakes. The sadly more common outcome is they remake a beloved, genre-defining game and absolutely shit the bed, like the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition. Where Hot Wheels Unleashed has the advantage over those games is there were truly no expectations at release. Instead of recreating an experience that we've already enjoyed, it's a totally new idea based off of something that we never had growing up, but wanted so bad. That's not to say that updated controller schemes and sick graphics don't go a long way. But Hot Wheels Unleashed brings a new experience that brilliantly blends our long-dead childhood wonder with nearly everything that makes playing a video game fun. I don't have the imagination to recreate these huge, functioning worlds in my head like I did when I was a kid. With age, our brain fills up with the weight of the world, and we sometimes forget to enjoy the little things like we used to. This game has given that back to me, and I will appreciate that for a long time to come. The developers knew they had to put a lot of love into making sure the cars were center stage, and they did just that. The cars are by far the best part of the game. Within the first hour or so of playing, I had seen 2 cars that currently sit on my shelf. I screamed at the TV like that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. It was honestly a great feeling. The cars themselves are abundant and beautiful. I spent a ton of time in photo mode trying to pause at cool moments to get a sweet-ass pic. It really reminded me of being young and setting my cars up in badass situations and looking at them at cool angles, but now it's all digital, baby. It was really satisfying to spin the camera around and zoom into the details on the cars, from real-time scrapes to different plastic and metal textures, to the text written on the bottom of the cars, just like we remember. If this was playable on VR, it would feel like these fucking things were in your hand. They are toys, and in the game, they look like toys. Each car has unique handling that makes swapping them from race to race a fresh experience on what might be an already familiar track. You will more than likely have a couple of preferred cars, but like me, you won't be able to resist the temptation of driving stupid ones, like a toaster, or a hamburger, or a bumper car. The driving physics are about as close to how the actual toys feel while still being functionally fun to drive. From the way they roll when taking a corner too fast, to not having enough speed for a loop-de-loop and falling to your sad, sad death. I'm gushing over the cars, but not having anywhere to rip them would essentially make this game just a digital index of 3D Hot Wheels to stare at, which I guess sounds kinda cool. The variety of tracks offer the perfect backdrop to race your collection, and they never feel boring. From the retro neon glow of the garage to the morning sunrise, or sunset, I don't know. Each track has a number of eye-popping moments that will keep you looking forward to the next lap. It is an absolute pleasure seeing regular-sized things at a giant scale. It had me feeling like I was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and it will always be hilarious to drive around a room as a tiny-ass car. I'm a simple man. The track designs never feel repetitive and differ in difficulty from non-gamer friendly to nearly impossible. It's a ton of fun drifting around magnetic wall rides, crushing loops, and boosting off sweet jumps for a totally valid attempt at a 360. One of my favorite parts of each level was when I was forced to drive along any non-tracked surface. Following cones to find the next connection was a lot of fun and offered the challenges of racing on a different terrain. Modern games have all but killed the golden days of split-screen couch co-op, but it's back and it's better than ever. My partner was kind enough to give me 10 minutes of her time, and explaining the controls was near impossible for me to screw up. Boost, gas, drift. As a non-gamer, she appreciated the easy learning curve, but what she'll never know is that I gave her the old broken controller that slightly drifts to the left. Got him. After a few laps, she was screaming from last place that I was cheating, which I know means she loves me and is having a wonderful time. Online gaming has been a game changer, no question, but nothing can replicate the feeling of being ready to ruin a friendship with someone who sits beside you, wired into the same console. Hot Wheels Unleashed really brought me back to the days of old, when your older brother would sit beside you and call you a stupid piece of shit while beating you in GoldenEye as Oddjob. Cheap piece of shit. I played through the City Rumble mode, which is essentially a career mode in which you make your way through a top-down map by winning races. In the realm of video game narratives, it's nothing game-changing, but the heart of the game is racing, so why waste your time on things that aren't that? Like making a Sims-like room designer. Oh wait, they did that too. The devs did not need to put this much into the game, but they went ahead and did it anyway. I had the pleasure of trying to design the ugliest party cave possible, and I think I did a pretty good job. You can customize almost anything in the room, from wall texture and color to skateboard types. Another, slightly more necessary feature is the Build-A-Track mode. Admittedly, I didn't spend a ton of time building tracks as I was having too much fun racing them, but once you get past the learning curve, the track builder is extensive and very easy to get lost in. There is honestly something here for everyone, and a ton of hours to sink into a game that cost me $13. You can buy what are essentially loot boxes that contain new cars and other shiny things, but they only cost in-game currency, so Timmy can't steal his dying grandmother's credit card and spend thousands on sick-ass Hot Wheels. But a boy can dream. You will occasionally get duplicate car unlocks, but instead of throwing them at trains like you used to, you can sell them or break them down for parts, so the unlock system is very low risk, high reward. There are some run-of-the-mill DLCs, but in the modern gaming world that is expected, and to be honest, they're kind of awesome. From Looney Tunes to Batman, the paid bonus content continues the trend of winning you over with brands you already love. The newest trend of slowing racing games down by making them open world and adding dogshit unnecessary story has left these sorts of racers in the past. It's such a breath of fresh air to play a game that focuses on racing, not sitting in traffic or having to drive across the map to even start the race. Am I saying that Hot Wheels Unleashed has resurrected a tired genre of arcade racers and is the best arcade racing game since the original Mario Kart? Yes. Yes, I am. And you can take that
To the bank.
But Jaroo, nothing is perfect. Yes, you're right. When starting a new game, the difficulty settings are an unbalanced, out-of-control mess. It defaults to easy, and I suggest you stick with it. The first couple of races will be such a joke that you will nearly be lapping the other Hot Wheels. So like me, you'll probably change the difficulty to hard and get your ass absolutely handed to you. So, you put it down to medium. You expect a happy medium of the two. It's in the name, right? Wrong. Medium is still hard as hell. I am by no means a skilled gamer, as you can obviously see by my gameplay footage here, but the distance between easy and medium is farther spread apart than me after Taco Bell. At first, stick with easy, and once you get your bearings, then you can try hard. You sadist. I will say that after 10 or so races, I found a sweet spot with medium difficulty, and at that point the game comfortably sat where any arcade racer should. Hard enough to offer a proper challenge, but forgiving enough to never let you get overly frustrated. Like Dark Souls, but for kids. Wait, no, that's too hard. Like Manhunt, but for kids. Hot Wheels Unleashed is easy to get into, but is hard to master, so the challenge will keep you coming back. That, and unlocking motherfucking Hot Wheels. Playing the game has made me a firm believer in that maybe it wasn't my sketchy cat who knocked my Hot Wheels to the floor after all.